Hi everybody! So today we're going to read a really cute story about telling the truth and being honest. One of my favorites out of our 5-minute storybook, The Boy Who Cried Wolf. All right, here we go. The Boy Who Cried Wolf. Once upon a time, there was a boy named Peter who lived in a little village in the mountains with his parents, who were sheep farmers. It was Peter's job to watch over the flock and protect them from wolves. Day after day, Peter sat on the mountainside watching the flock. It was very quiet with no one but sheep for company. No wolves ever came to eat the sheep. Peter got very bored. He tried to amuse himself by climbing the rocks and trees, by crawling through the grass and counting the sheep one by one. 1, 2, 3, 64, 65, counted Peter. Oh, I wish something exciting would happen. I'm so bored. Same old mountain, same old sheep. Finally, one day, Peter couldn't stand being bored anymore. I know what to do, he grinned to himself. He started shouting at the top of his voice, "Wolf! Help! Wolf!" Down in the village, a man heard Peter's cries. "Quick!" he shouted to some other men. "We need to help Peter. There's a big wolf attacking the sheep." The villagers grabbed their axes, forks, shovels, and brooms and ran up the mountain to where Peter was sheep herding his flock. When they got there, huffing and puffing and panting, all was quiet and the sheep were grazing peacefully. "Where's the wolf?" one of the villagers cried. Peter roared with laughter. "There's no wolf. I was just playing." The men were very angry with Peter. "You mustn't cry wolf when there isn't one," they said. That night, Peter got a telling off from his mother and was sent to bed without any supper. For a while after this, Peter managed to behave himself. He climbed the mountainside with the sheep every day and watched over them quietly. The villagers soon forgot about his trick. Then, one day, Peter got really bored again. He had already run up and down the rocks, climbed the trees, and counted the sheep 10 times. "What can I do now? Same old mountain, same old sheep," he groaned to himself. With a sigh, he slumped to the ground as he was sitting there. An idea popped in his head. He picked up some sticks lying nearby and started banging them hard together. Then at the top of his voice, he shouted, "Wolf! Help! Wolf! Please hurry! There's a big wolf eating the sheep!" Down in the village, a crowd of people started gathering when they heard the loud banging and shouting coming from the mountainside. "What's all that noise?" someone cried. "It's Peter! He's in trouble!" shouted someone else. "Quick! There must be a wolf on the prowl!" Once again, the villagers grabbed their forks, shovels, and brooms. They ran up the mountainside to chase away the wolf and save Peter and his sheep. And once again, when they got there, puffing and out of breath, all was quiet and the sheep were grazing peacefully. "Peter, what's happened?" shouted one man angrily. "There's no wolf left, Peter. I was only playing." "You shouldn't make jokes like that," said another man. "It's not good to lie." The villagers marched back down the mountain toward the village. That night, Peter got an even bigger telling off from his mother and once again had to go to bed without any supper. For a few days, the villagers went around moaning about Peter's tricks. But after a while, the incident was forgotten, and Peter continued to climb the mountainside every day with the sheep. He had decided that he would try and behave himself, especially since he didn't want another scolding from his mother. A few weeks later, while Peter stood counting the sheep as usual to pass the time, he noticed that some of them were bleeding nervously. He climbed up in the tree to take a look around and see what was upsetting them. To his horror, he saw a big, hairy wolf. The creature was creeping through the grass toward the flock with its jaws open and its tongue hanging out. Peter could see the wolf's sharp, pointed teeth. Shaking with fear, he started screaming, "Wolf! Help! Wolf! Please, hurry! There's a big wolf about to eat the sheep!" A few people down in the village heard his cries for help, but they went about their business as usual. "It's only Peter playing another trick," they said to each other. "Does he think he can fool us again?" And so nobody went to Peter's rescue. By nightfall, when Peter hadn't returned to his parents became concerned. Peter never missed his supper. Something bad must have happened. Peter's father gathered the people of the village. Together they hurried up the mountain carrying flaming torches. A terrible sight met their eyes. All the sheep were gone. There really had been a wolf this time. Peter was still in the tree, shaking and crying. I cried out, "Wolf, why didn't you come?" he wept. "Nobody believes a liar, even when he's speaking the truth," said Peter's father, helping him to climb out of the tree. Peter hung on to his father all the way home. He never wanted to see another wolf again. And Peter finally really learned his lesson. He never told a lie again, and he always got to eat his dinner. The end. So a great little story about telling the truth and being honest. At the end of the book, Peter realized that because he had lied about this big bad wolf in the past, and he kept crying that this wolf was eating the sheep when really they weren't, nobody came to his rescue when there really was a big bad wolf. So the moral of this story is, tell the truth and be honest. I hope you enjoyed the story. Have a good day. Bye.